hello. Let me there we go. Get the mat in screen for us. So, welcome to our Wednesday yoga session, Westside Wellbeing Warriors. You've made it to the mat, whatever time of day this is for you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Well done, you've made it. So, we are going to start today standing up and make sure you can see my head. So let's start just by coming to stand on our mats. Maybe have the feet hip distance apart. You can have a little softness in your knees. Maybe even just give yourselves a little wiggle from side to side. You could circle into one ankle and then circle into the other. Have some softness in the knees. Get some hip rolls going and back the other way. Maybe get into the shoulders, get some nice juiciness through the body. Particularly good if you've spent a long time sat down this morning already. So we're just getting some movement in, get into the elbows, get into the wrists, shaking it out through the arms, maybe shaking it out through the legs. If you've had a busy day, if you've been responding to deadlines, if you've been getting to places on time, you might have had some adrenaline pumping through the body, and just shaking everything out is a really good way just to release that adrenaline. And finally, carefully, gently, just releasing into the neck. And then come to stillness. And maybe you noticed as you just did that little shake and warm up around the body, that there's particular parts of your body this morning, to this day, that are calling for your attention. Notice the sensations that are coming. Notice the sensations that aren't there. So we're just dropping into our bodies, letting go of the logical, conscious thinking part of the brain. Just let that go for a minute and just feel. And then let's start to notice how we're breathing. And see if we can start to use the nose as we inhale. And use the nose as we exhale. Filling up the lungs with fresh energy and oxygen. And as you exhale, just letting go of anything that's going on for you off the mat. And let's take 5 more breaths here together. Inhaling through the nose. And exhaling. Each breath a little longer and deeper than the one before. So we're going to let this breath be our guide for our practice today. So if you find that anything means that you start to hold your breath or clench your teeth, you start to breathe through the mouth instead of the nose, these are all signals that you are maybe pushing your body a little bit further than it's ready to go. So just come back to a position where you can breathe just like this, in and out through the nose. And on our next inhale, we're going to take the arms nice and wide as we fill up the lungs. Gaze goes all the way up towards the lifted fingertips, and as we exhale, bring the hands all the way down. 2 more like this. Inhaling, reaching the arms all the way up. And as you exhale, letting the hands come all the way down. Lovely. 1 more time. Inhaling. And exhaling. Lovely. This time, inhale, take the arms all the way up. Keep the feet hip distance, but just bring a bind to the thumb. Spread the fingers nice and wide. And we're just going to reach up and over to one side. And as you inhale, come all the way up. And as you exhale, reach up and over to the other. Moving with your breath. Excellent. One side and then the other. Stretching into the side of the body. Excellent. Bringing the hands all the way up. And then float the hands down to the lower back. Fingertips point down. Squeeze the elbows towards each other. Notice how that opens the chest. And start to push the hips forwards a little bit. Think about pushing the hips forwards, but keeping the chest open and up. Don't sink into the lower back. Keep lifting up through the lower back. Maybe start to take the gaze up towards the ceiling, squeeze the thighs and the kneecaps. Maybe start to take the gaze all the way back behind you. Excellent. Inhale, come all the way up. Release the hands beside you, step the feet together. We're going to take a little balance here. So balances can be really good just to help us focus. So if you're struggling to let go of whatever's happened to you before this yoga session, a balance might be the key. So we're going to ground down through the right foot, bringing the left foot to the side of the ankle and the floor, the inner shin or the inner thigh. Making sure that foot goes above or below the knee, tucking the tailbone under, engaging your core. Think about the foot pushing into the leg and the leg pushing back as you bring your hands up to prayer at the heart center. If you've gone with the other leg, no problem. Notice how that grounded foot is connected to the floor. Think about spreading the toes, pushing down through the ball of the foot and the heel, and using that contact to help you stand up a little bit taller, keeping the shoulders relaxed and the neck super long. Excellent. Let's release the foot, release the hands, and come straight into the other side. So you're bringing the right foot this time to the side of the ankle, the floor, the inner shin, or the inner thigh. Tucking the tailbone under. Hands coming to prayer at the heart center. So whilst we're working on this balance and focus, also noticing that you've got this hip opening going on in the right leg. You're trying to tuck the tailbone under. Sometimes we stick the bum out back behind us, helps with the balance, but it doesn't help with the integrity of the posture. So try and tuck that tailbone under, engage through the core, relax the shoulders, breathe here. Awesome stillness, guys. Lovely work. Release the foot, release the hands, come back down to standing. Just like we did right at the beginning, check back in with the sensations that are coming up to you from your body. Connect back to the breath. Excellent. Step the feet to hip distance. Have a softness in your knees. We're going to start to roll down the body. So tuck the chin to the chest. And then start to roll down. Take it steady and slow. Imagine that you're taking blocks off a big, tall tower. Those blocks are your vertebrae joints, and you're just releasing them one by one. Maybe gaze now is towards the top of the thighs. Letting the head start to hang a little heavier. Softening the knees, letting the belly come to rest on those thighs. Maybe the fingertips hit the mat, maybe they don't. We're going to grab hold of opposite elbows as we transition into this ragdoll. So you could nod the head, you could sway left to right. Pushing down through the balls of the feet and the heels still. But just imagine any strain, any tension in the shoulders, the neck, the head, Just melting towards the mat here with every exhale. Maybe you're moving, maybe you're still. Excellent. Releasing the hands to the mat. Bend the knees to get those hands down, especially as we're still warming up. If you need to bend the knees quite a lot, there's no problem. Bring the right hand underneath the face, and as we inhale, we're going to start to twist the left fingertips up to the ceiling. Gaze follows the fingertips. Maybe straighten out through that left leg. So you've got a big bend in the right knee. The left leg is straight. The gaze is following the fingertips. Nice. Bending into the knees. Rotate the left arm down and start to reach the right fingertips up. This time straightening into the right leg. Gaze is up towards the lifted fingertips. Breathing here. Excellent. Softening into both knees again. Right hand comes down. Heel toe those feet wide, all the way to the width of your mat. Turn the toes out and start to sink the hips down. You can keep the hands on the floor, and we're just going to transfer the weight from one foot to the other. Just walking out kind of through those legs here as one foot, the heel lifts, and then the other. Maybe your balance is feeling good now, so you might want to bring the hands to the insides of the elbows, of the knees. So the elbows are there. The hands are in prayer, lifted away from the mat, just warming up those hips. Keep transferring the weight. And then release the hands down to the mat. Step back into a tabletop position. So hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips, and we're going to circle around into those hips. Nice big circles. And then circle back the other way. And then same with the shoulders, circle all the way around. Warming up into the wrists and the hands. And then circle all the way back. And then find your way to stillness. Take the knees wide, big toes touch, push the hips back towards the heels as you reach the fingertips towards the top of your mat. Spine is long, forehead starts to soften down, shoulders are soft, upper arms are soft, elbows are soft. We're taking 3 breaths here, so connecting to that breath, in through the nose, and out through the nose. Focusing on the inhale, and focusing on the exhale. One more time. Excellent. On your next inhale, start to lift ourselves back up, but tuck the toes under and push back to find a downward facing dog. So set this up with the hands shoulder distance apart, the feet hip distance apart. Have a softness in your knees so you can push your hips back and up. The spine feels long and flat, and you're rotating the armpits towards each other. Let's pedal out the legs. So we're bending one knee whilst we straighten the other. Might feel nice to do this quickly or slowly. Just see what feels best for you. Excellent. Finding stillness here. Keep that softness in the knee. The back is long and flat. As you inhale, look towards your hands, come forwards, find a high plank. Squeeze the kneecaps and the thighs, push back through the heels. And then lower the knees, the chest and the chin, all the way down towards the mat. As you inhale, slide the body forwards, lift the head and the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, and then tuck the toes under. Push the hips back towards the heels, and extend into downward facing dog. Breathe, just breathe. Look into your hands, step your right foot all the way up in between those hands. Drop the back knee down, untuck the back toes. From here, push down into the left hand, sweep the right fingertips up towards the ceiling, gaze follows those fingertips. Let the hips release down towards the mat, taking 2 breaths. Now, we're going to use our core strength to lift up the upper body. Gaze is still back round towards the back fingertips. Hips are still sinking low. Excellent. 1 breath here. And then we're sweeping the back arm all the way forwards and up. So both fingertips now are reaching up towards the top of the space that you're practicing in. If your back knee is feeling any pressure, you can double up the mat just to provide a little extra bit of cushioning. Lovely. Taking 1 more deep inhale. 1 more deep exhale. Let both hands come down to the inside of your right foot. So you can stay here on the hands. You might find you can start to bend into the elbows, softening the torso down towards the floor. Keep your right foot super glued to the mat. Maybe you can come all the way down onto forearms. If you're on forearms, try and make sure the right forearm is pushing down equally to the left. And keep your right knee touching your right shoulder. 2 more breaths here. So we're really getting into those hips. Really great set of postures if you spent the morning sat down or relatively stationary. Excellent. On your next inhale, come all the way back up onto your hands. Roll onto the outside edge of your right foot. So you should be able to see the sole of your right foot here. Bring the right hand to the inside of the right thigh and twist again. Twist and open the chest towards the right. So towards the leg that is bent. Excellent. Keep the hips sinking low. Option, bend the back knee. Point the back toes up towards the ceiling. And if you want to, you could take your right hand, grabbing hold of the foot and squeezing that foot in towards the body. Keep the right knee opening out towards the side. Make sure you're still on the outside edge of that right foot. Breathe here, just an option. Remember, find the position where you can breathe comfortably in and out through the nose. Excellent. Release the back foot. Try not to let it ping down to the floor. Bring the right hand back to the mat. Excellent. Right foot back to the floor. Bring the right hand to the outside of the right foot and wiggle the right foot over towards the left hand side. Drop the right knee down onto the mat. Untuck the back toes. Sit up nice and square on those hips. You're on your fingertips. Check you're not leaning from one side to the other. And then we're going to take the hands wide to the width of the mat. And as you exhale, roll the chest down towards the floor. And as you inhale, roll all the way up. 2 more. Exhaling. Inhaling. Exhaling. Inhaling. Excellent. From here, you might want to lower down onto your forearms, maybe make a little pillow to rest your forehead on with your fists, or maybe the forehead comes all the way down onto the mat. We're taking 3 breaths here. And just maybe noticing when the postures get a little bit tougher, when we hold them a little bit longer, where does the breath go? Where does your focus go? See if you can keep bringing the focus back to the breath. We're taking one more deep inhale. One more deep exhale. Lovely. As you inhale, let's start to walk back up onto the hands. And we're going to slide onto the right hip. Bend the back leg so that the back shin is kind of parallel towards the back of the mat. And slide the right leg around so that the right shin is parallel to the long edge of your mat. Lovely. Bring the fingertips up to the sides of the head. And we're going to start to dip the back elbow back towards the back knee. If you feel comfortable here, maybe take the gaze up towards the ceiling, breathing. Nice. As you inhale, come all the way back up. Bring the right hand to the floor. Reach the left fingertips up and over. Feel the stretch into the left side of the body, top shoulder relaxed. Maybe come down onto the bottom forearm. If you want to take the stretch a bit deeper, try and avoid squeezing the shoulder up towards the ear. See if you can engage that shoulder blade, draw it down the spine towards the hip. Excellent. Rotating that left arm down towards the mat. So you're on your forearms. You've twisted your torso so that your belly is parallel to the mat. You could stay here or you could soften the whole of your forehead down towards the floor. Excellent. As you inhale, slowly start to come back up onto the hands. Keep the chin tucked to the chest. Roll all the way up to your seated position. Turn your chest parallel to the long edge of the mat. Now, bring this back leg around. Keep a hold of the foot. And we're just going to rock into this back hip. So this left hip, holding onto the foot and the knee. Maybe you can get that foot into the crease of your elbow and you want to rock your shin like you're rocking a little baby. Most important thing is just releasing into the hip. Try and keep the spine long, the neck long, the shoulders relaxed. Excellent. Now we're going to try and take fire log pose. So we're bringing the left ankle somewhere up on top of the right knee. And the left knee is somewhere up above the right ankle. Now, if this feels impossible or there's a really much bigger gap than I've got here between the knee and the ankle, you could slide the left shin in front of the right shin and we take a cross-legged position with your knees and your feet aligned. Yogi's choice, right? So find the version that works best for you. If there is a gap like I've got, I find that the longer we hold this posture, this gap just starts to get smaller. So you might want your fingertips behind you, helping you sit up tall. This might feel really good and balanced through your hips. You might just want to lean forward, maybe forearms to shins, maybe fingertips to the floor as you lean even further forwards. You might be able to get the hands to the floor, the forearms to the floor, and start to bow the head down. Find the version that works for you. 3 breaths here. Excellent. As you inhale, slowly start to come all the way back up. Now, we're going to turn back towards the short edge of the mat and we're taking the left foot to the outside of the right thigh and we're spinning round to face the short edge of the mat. So both sit bones pushing down, sitting up as tall as you can, left fingertips back behind the left hip. Inhale, reach the right fingertips up. And as you exhale, hook the elbows, suck the belly button in and twist around towards the back of the space that you're in. So try not to put too much weight into that back hand. You could lift it up if you need it to. It's your core that's helping you twist. If you're struggling to get both sit bones down and the left big toes down, you can always extend the right leg out in front of you. So just see what works best for you. Sit up as tall as you can. Breathe here. And then as you inhale, unravel, unwind, bring the left elbow to the inside of the knee and twist the other way. Inhale, come all the way back to center. Cross both legs, topple forwards, find your tabletop position. If you want to circle the hips here, if you want to circle into the shoulders, you can. Maybe this time taking cat and cow. So as you inhale, belly drops, sit bones reach up, gaze goes up. And as you exhale, we find this angry cat pushing the floor away with the hands and the knees. Inhaling, belly drops, sit bones reach up, gaze goes up. Exhaling, reverse. 3 more. Lovely. Finding your way to stillness. Take the knees wide, big toes touch, hips to heels. Reach the arms forward, soften the forehead down, the chest down. Relax into the shoulders, the upper arms, the elbows, the forearms. Notice if this posture is feeling any different from when we did it right at the beginning. On an inhale, let's tuck the toes under and push straight back up into a downward facing dog. Inhale, find a high plank, and let's lower the knees, the chest and the chin, keeping the hips high. As you inhale, slide the body forward, lift the head and the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades together, untuck the toes. As you exhale, tuck the toes under, push hips back towards the heels. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale, look to the hands. Step the left foot up in between the hands. Drop the back knee down, untuck the back toes. Push down into the right hand as you twist to the left, reaching the left fingertips up towards the ceiling. Maybe noticing how the hip is feeling on this side of the body. Maybe noticing how the waist is feeling as you twist the other way, how that top arm is feeling. Remember, if there's too much pressure on the back knee, you can always tuck the back under to give you some extra cushioning or get an actual cushion. Lovely. Using our strong core strength as we inhale, we're going to lift the right fingertips up. Keep the gaze going towards that back set of fingertips. Keep the shoulders relaxed. Keep breathing. Keep the hips sinking low. Sweeping the back arm round to meet the front, reaching the fingertips up towards the top of the space that you're in. Breathing here. Lovely. Taking one more deep inhale. One more deep exhale. Let those hands come all the way down to the inside of that left foot. Excellent. From here, maybe stay on the hands, maybe soften into the elbows, lowering the chest down. Maybe you can come all the way down onto your forearms. If that left arm isn't pushing down equally to the right, so my left forearm won't go down here, then I'm just going to come back up onto my hands, softening into those elbows and working on the posture from here, taking 2 more breaths. Left foot is super glued to the mat. As you inhale, coming all the way up onto your hands, rolling onto the outside edge of that left foot. So you can see the sole of the left foot, left hand to the inside of the left thigh. Twist and open your chest towards the left. Breathing here. So try not to anticipate what's coming next. Just breathe in this moment. But we do have that option that you might have been thinking about to bend into the back knee, point the back toes up towards the ceiling. You could stay here or you could use your left hand to reach down, grabbing hold of the foot, pulling that foot in towards the body. You twist and open. Breathe. Keep on the outside edge of the left foot. Wherever you are, taking 2 more breaths. Excellent. Release the back leg with control. Bring the left hand around to the mat and then heel toe that left foot all the way over towards the right hand, dropping the left knee down, extending the back leg back out behind you. Inhale, sit up nice and square on those hips. Try not to roll to one side or the other. Then take the hands a little wider of the mat. And as you exhale, roll the body down towards the mat. And as you inhale, rolling all the way up. As you exhale, rolling down. As you inhale, rolling up. One more time. Excellent. Bringing the hands in towards each other, maybe coming down onto forearms, maybe forehead to rest on fists or the floor or your forearms. Really try and be conscious of noticing where naturally tension starts to creep back into the body. It might be your shoulders, it might be your jawline, your teeth, it might be the tongue pushing against the roof of the mouth. Take a couple more breaths. Excellent. On your next inhale, let's slowly start to come all the way back up. And we're sliding onto our left sit bones, bending the back knee, left shin parallel to the long edge of the mat. I'm going to swivel round so that I am facing you guys. So, fingertips coming to the side of the head, elbows wide. And just drop the back elbow down towards the back leg. Maybe turning the gaze up towards the ceiling, towards the lifted elbow as you breathe here. Excellent. Inhale, coming all the way up. Left hand comes down to the mat. Reach the right fingertips up and over the head. Feeling that lovely long stretch and maybe softening down onto the left forearm. And then let the right forearm release all the way down to the mat so that your torso is parallel to the floor here. And you might find you want to soften the chest, the forehead, all the way down towards the floor, staying in this twist. On an inhale, take it steady and slow. Walk the hands in towards the body as you roll up the spine, chin tucked to the chest, until the head is the very last thing to come all the way up, and we turn our torso back to the long edge of the mat. Bring the back foot around. Maybe foot you're holding on to in the knee as we wiggle into this right hip. Maybe let the right foot comes to the inside crease of the elbow. And we just rock that shin like a baby, keeping the shoulders relaxed, neck long, spine as long as possible. And guiding that left ankle on top of the left thigh, right knee on top of the left ankle. So you know your options. If this doesn't feel good, and maybe it felt okay on one side and now it doesn't on the other, that's normal, can happen. We can be a little bit unbalanced. Knees and feet aligned with the right shin in front, or right ankle on top of the left knee. Right knee on top of the left ankle, sitting up as tall as you can. Fingertips maybe back behind you as you sit up tall. Maybe you can start to lean forwards. Maybe you're coming onto your forearms, resting on the shins. Maybe fingertips come down. Maybe you walk the hands forwards even more. Bow the forehead down towards the shin or the floor. Just try and have that sense of letting go and releasing with every exhale, even if it feels tight. Just send the intention to soften. Taking 3 more breaths. On your next inhale, let's slowly start to walk the hands back in towards the body as we roll all the way up. So again, we're just going to swivel to face the short edge of the mat, bringing the right foot to the floor on the outside of that left thigh. Remember, you've got the option to extend that left leg if you need to. Right fingertips come back behind you. Inhale, left fingertips reach up, gaze goes up. As you exhale, hook the elbows, suck the belly button in, find your twist. Gaze goes all the way around, past that back shoulder. Sit up as tall as you can and breathe. Excellent. As you inhale, unravel, unwind. Right elbow comes to the inside of the right knee. Twist and open the chest the other way. And then inhale, come all the way back to center. We're going to uncross the legs, feet to the floor, hands back behind you. Take the feet wide to the width of your mat, and then just let the knees drop from left to right. Just windscreen wipering, releasing any tension in the lower back, just wiggling into the hips. Excellent. Bringing the feet back to the mat, knees point up. Make sure you've got enough space to roll back down onto your mats as we come all the way down to lie down. When you get to the mat, you can extend your legs away from you. We've just got a couple more postures to go, and then you have made it. So take a moment here. This is the first time in this practice that we've been lying on the mat. So notice how your body feels in contact with the mat. Connecting back with the breath. On an inhale, let's bend into the right knee, interlace the fingers around the top of the right shin, and hug and squeeze the right knee down towards the right shoulder. Every time you exhale, hug and squeeze a little tighter. And then gently release the knee. Take the knee across the body over to the left-hand side. The knee might rest on the floor or your fist, or it can hover, but really make sure the right hip is on top of the left hip. And then release the right fingertips away from you. Let the gaze follow the fingertips. Breathe. Excellent. As you inhale, we're rolling back onto our backs. We're hugging the right knee back in towards the body. One final squeeze. And then releasing the right leg out to meet the left. Just take a moment here of stillness. Breathe. As you inhale, let's just breathe. That left knee in towards the body, interlacing the fingers around the top. The left shin, knee hugs down towards that left shoulder. Excellent. Release the grip from the shin. Take the left knee up and across the body over towards the right hand side. Left hip stacked on top of the right hip. Knee might come to the floor or rest on your fist or hover. And then you can release the left fingertips away from you. Gaze follows those fingertips. Every time you exhale, just soften, surrender, let go. On your next inhale, let's slowly start to bring the left knee all the way back up, rolling back onto your back. Hugging that left knee in towards the body, giving it a big old squeeze. And then releasing the left leg out to meet the right. Coming into our very final posture of this practice. It's the one that we've been working towards. We've been getting all of that movement, all of that energy out of our bodies so that we can be comfortable here in stillness. Still body and a still mind. Nothing left to do but breathe. If you'd like to stay a little bit longer in your Shavasana, please feel free to stay here. If you'd like to transition out, we're slowly going to start to take a deeper inhale and a longer exhale. Inhaling, wiggling into your fingers and your toes as you exhale, rotate into the ankles and the wrists. On an inhale, find a full body stretch, reaching the fingertips away, pointing the toes away, pushing the heels away. And as you exhale, release the arms down beside you. And roll over onto your right hand side. We're slowly going to use the left hand to push ourselves up to find a comfortable seated position. Taking a moment, your final moment of stillness in this practice. Notice anything, everything that might have changed for you over the last 45 minutes. And as you exhale, let it all go out through the mouth with a big sigh. Know that wherever you are in this precise moment is exactly where you're meant to be. Thank you so much for joining me for your practice, for sharing that incredible energy with me. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, wherever you are, whenever this is for you. Namaste. Thank you so much, guys. And just a reminder that our Westside Wellbeing Wednesdays are here every week, so you can drop back in at 1 o'clock every week, and there will be a different class from Tabata to circuits to yoga to Pilates. So look forward to seeing you on the mat again soon. Bye.